Hello there, welcome to ITV News and the late update from Calendar. The Archbishop of York says he's praying for the King after His Majesty was diagnosed with cancer. The disease, which is not prostate cancer, was detected while the King was being treated in hospital for an enlarged prostate. Archbishop Stephen Cottrell called for others to pray with him for all the royal family on a post on social media this evening, adding, "May he and all who suffer with cancer know the healing presence of God's love." In other news, a homeless drug addict who randomly met and killed a holidaymaker in Skegness has been jailed for life. Anthony Robertson beat Charles Adair to death with a large rock during a violent robbery last July. Amelia Beckett reports.
Well, the judge today described Anthony Robertson's attack on Charles Adair as ferocious and one that came after his victim had spent the night showing him considerable kindness. The court heard that the pair had met after Mr Adair had travelled to Skegness from his home in Northamptonshire for a music festival and spent the night with Mr Robertson, buying them both drink and drugs. But then, halfway through the night, Mr Robertson stole Mr Adair's phone, isolating him hours before the fatal attack, which the judge described as a mean feature of this case. Then at around 5:40 in the morning, the pair entered Scrubland near Tesco before Mr Robertson attacked Mr Adair with what's believed to have been a rock, hitting him multiple times on the head before stealing his wallet and leaving him unconscious and dying. Today, the courtroom was full of Mr Adair's family who've been present throughout this trial, and the devastation his murder has caused was heard in their victim impact statements. His partner said, "My Charlie has gone and I can't believe it. He was the strong one. He was our world and we were his." His 6 siblings said, "His death has left a void that can't be filled. All of us are an extremely close-knit family. He was the life and soul of the party." While his son, who's also called Charlie, said he's had to seek professional help after his mental health spiralled, saying the impact has been devastating. Stunned and shocked is an understatement. Now, while the court heard that Robertson had a difficult childhood and struggled with a number of mental health issues, the judge also highlighted his string of past convictions and the sustained nature of this attack. He sentenced Anthony Robertson to life in prison with a minimum of 31 years.
The Mayor of South Yorkshire's announced plans to rent back Doncaster Sheffield Airport in what he's described as a major step forward. Under the plan, the mayoral authority would make £138 million available to the council to lease the site back from its owner's Peel. Calls to dismantle the protest camps outside the former RAF Scampton Air Base have intensified following reports of assaults and other incidents there. It was reported that a dambuster flag was set on fire last week. This weekend, police received reports of protesters being forced to leave camps by people wearing face masks. A community football club whose pitches have been torn up by motorbike riding vandals for the 4th time this season has made a desperate plea for help. Dewsbury Rangers says the police are powerless to help unless the council allows them to fence off their fields, which officials say can't be done. Jonathan Brown reports.
It takes hours of work to tend to these pitches and just seconds to tear them apart. The damage left behind causing match cancellations and frustration for those volunteering their time to help young people.
They've like been doing donuts and all sorts.
And with that one.
Around 200 young footballers play for Dewsbury Rangers every week. These pitches their pride and joy 5 years after they took control of them from Kirklees Council, rescuing them from disrepair.
It's probably the 4th time this season. It's just heartbreaking to get the phone call that there's bikes on here again. It's just, yeah, it's awful.
Rob spent years applying for grants to improve the playing surfaces. Over the weekend, they were told the Football Foundation was giving them a further £18,000 to maintain their pitches, but repeated vandalism keeps setting them back.
We take 2 steps forward and it's 1 step back all the time. The argument that we get thrown at us is that there's nothing else for them to do, and the irony is that we're trying to create something for them to do, and they come up and destroy it.
They've put up signs, appealed to the police and even secured the funding to pay to fence off this facility. but say Kirklees Council is refusing to allow them to do so due to planning issues. All the while, the likes of their under-11s team are seeing games called off.
It makes me a bit distraught because how could someone try and ruin something that we like to do?
It makes it bumpy and muggy, affects passing and shooting. It's horrible.
They shouldn't be doing it because it's vandalism.
Kids are trying to get happy to play football and then the game could be cancelled because of the damage what we're doing to the pitches.
And everybody's welcome, but this, vandalism is not welcome. But it's a community team and we need to protect it.
In a statement, Kirklees Council's Cabinet Member for Culture and Greener Kirklees said this field already has some measures in place. Unfortunately, it is not possible to completely block access to the site as it is a public green space. The joy of playing the beautiful game, meanwhile, keeps these young players coming back. The hope being their efforts on the pitch are matched by those who they believe have the power to support them. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Dewsbury.
Now the likes of Idris Elba and Stormzy will grace the red carpet at Sheffield Arena when the city hosts the MOBO Awards for the very first time on Wednesday. But ahead of the awards, a series of events is being staged to get the city in the mood. Adam Fowler's taken a look.
The newest single by Sheffield singer Lavelle recently rocketed to the top of the iTunes R&B charts. She's one of the acts performing at the MOBO's Fringe event and, at her single launch party, said she believes the awards ceremony could be a sign of things to come.
They're going to be like, yeah, it looks good up there, and hopefully, we can encourage it to become a hub for creatives, because there's a lot of creatives here. But I just feel like, because we are up north, we don't get many events and stuff. So I feel like hopefully it'll be the start of changing that for us. It'll be a good opportunity to just shed some light, and just bring a bit of attention to the city. And if you're talented and you've been putting in work, make it work for you. Make the spotlight work for you.
Lavelle's single was co-produced by Seppi, who says now's the right time for the spotlight to be on Sheffield, given the wealth of talent that it harbours.
There's a lot happening here. There's a lot of different wicked artists, producers, songwriters, a lot of good songs coming out of the city at the moment, a lot of successes from people who've been in the game for a long time, and now other opportunities are kind of opening up. There's more opportunities for younger people as well, and there's a buzz. There's a real buzz about the city at the moment.
It's a good platform for people to get themselves out there, and do you know what I mean? Like, it's good, man. It's good that the city is getting a bit of light shed to it. I'm sure every city, it'll mean a lot to them because the MOBOs is a big thing, especially for the type of music we do. So yeah, it'll be good.
Baby, when you do those little things to me, it's like you should have gone and bought a wedding ring for me.
This Queen Mills single was a collaboration with Sigma, platinum-selling drum and bass producers who met at Leeds University. She says anything that turns the spotlight beyond the capital can only be a good thing.
It's great that such a big event is going to come to such a local crowd, and it's good that people from not just London are kind of getting shined on nowadays. It's good that we're getting a little bit of a say in what's popping. It's a little bit closed off at the moment, so it's good for us to get our foot in the door and be able to show that we got a flavour too.
It may be the 26th MOBO Awards, but it's a first for Sheffield. And with so much local talent keen to make it a success, it's hopefully the first of many. Adam Fowler, ITV News, Sheffield.
OK, that's the news. Let's take a look at the weather now. Here's Joe Blythe.
It's looking like a chilly one. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Over the next few days there's going to be a real change weather-wise. It's been very mild for the time of year, but cold air returns across the UK for a few days at least, and that means perhaps some snow for some of us during Thursday and into the early hours of Friday. The next 24 hours, wet and windy weather moving in, and after tomorrow it's certainly going to feel a good deal colder. In the meantime, overnight tonight, a few breaks in the cloud. We're free from frost, still very mild, 8 or 9 Celsius, and winds temporarily ease down a touch before they pick up again during tomorrow. Mostly dry conditions, rain's just trying to nudge into the far north, before dawn, when the sun is up at 7:44 and sets at 4:57 tomorrow afternoon. On to tomorrow, perhaps a dry start to the day, a little bit cloudy, winds increase in strength through the morning, and we'll see the progress of that rain quite quickly during tomorrow afternoon, moving its way eastwards across the whole of the region. A wet and windy end to the day. Initially, temperatures will get into double figures, but as the rain moves through, colder air digs in behind it. It will feel chillier over the next few days, and there's potential for snow, particularly in the Pennines on Thursday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Thank you, Joe. That's it from me for now. Our next bulletin is tomorrow, just after 6 in Good Morning Britain. But from all of us here on the Lakes team, sleep well. Good night.